Hey everyone, it's Miss Joyce. Today we'll be multiplying whole numbers by decimals using the standard algorithm. Let's start by multiplying 24 times 1 and 5 tenths. First, we're going to line our numbers up vertically, which means one on top of the other. We can see in the number 24, the 4 is in the ones place, so we're going to label this as 24 ones. In the number 1 and 5 tenths, the last digit 5 is in the tenths place, so we're going to label this as 15 tenths. Now we can start by multiplying the whole numbers just as we normally would. We'll start by multiplying by the ones place. 5 times 4 is 20, so place a 0 at the bottom and regroup the 2 to the tens place. Next, we're going to multiply by the tens place, since the 2 is in the tens place. 5 times 2, which is 10, plus the 2 we regrouped is 12. So place a 2 down in the tens place and regroup the 1 to the hundreds place. Since there are no hundreds there, it's like having a 0 here. 5 times 0 is 0, plus the 1 is 1. So we can put the 1 down here in the hundreds place in the bottom. So this first product we got is from multiplying 24 times 5. Next, we want to find the product for 24 times 10, since the 1 is in the tens place. We're going to place a 0 down here in the bottom in the ones place, so our answer starts in the tens place, since the 1 is in the tens place. Now we're going to multiply 1 times 4, which is 4, and 1 times 2, since the 2 is in the tens place, which is 2. So 240 is the answer we're getting to 24 times 10. We can go ahead and add these products together, starting in the ones place. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 4 is 6. And 1 plus 2 is 3. Now we're going to multiply the place values. Ones times tenths is going to be tenths, since anytime we multiply by ones, it's always the other factor. We can rewrite 360 tenths, our final product, in standard form by placing it into a place value chart. So we're going to place the 0 in the tenths place, a 6 in the ones, and a 3 in the tens. Remember, the decimal point always goes between the ones and the tenths place. So our answer is 36. Let's try another problem. Now let's multiply 26 hundredths times 15. First, we're going to rewrite each number in unit form. So we have 26 hundredths, since the 6 is in the hundredths place. We're going to multiply by 15 ones, since the 5 is in the ones place. Let's start by multiplying the digits that are in the ones place. So we're going to multiply 5 times 6. We know 5 times 6 is 30, so we're going to place a 0 down at the bottom, regroup the 3 to the top. Now we're going to multiply 5 times 2, since the 2 is in the tens place. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 3 we regrouped is 13. So place a 3 down at the bottom in the tens place, regroup the 1 to the hundreds. Since there are no hundreds in this number, that's like multiplying 5 times 0 to get 0, plus the 1 we regrouped is 1. So 130 is the answer to 26 times 5. But now we need to multiply 26 times 10, since the 1 is in the tens place. We first need to put a 0 in the ones place before we even start multiplying, so our answer will start in the tens place. So let's start by multiplying 1 times 6, since the 6 is in the ones place. 1 times 6 is 6. We place a 6 down here in the tens place. And now we're going to multiply 1 times 2, and that would be 2. So 26 times 10 is 260. Remember, it's times 10 because the 1 is in the tens place. Let's add these products together. In the ones place, 0 plus 0 is 0. In the tens place, 3 plus 6 is 9. In the hundreds place, 1 plus 2 is 3. Now let's multiply the place values to figure out the place value that our answer is going to be in. Hundredths times ones is hundredths. So our answer is 390 hundredths. We can rewrite this number in standard form in our place value chart. The 0 is in the hundredths place, since that's the last digit. That means the 9 is regrouped to the tenths place, and the 3 is regrouped to the ones place. We're going to place a decimal between the ones and the tenths place. So our answer is 3 and 9/10. Let's try another problem. Here we have 412 times 1 and 23 hundredths. We're first going to write 412 ones, since the 2 is in the ones place, times 123 hundredths, since the 3 is in the hundredths place. We're going to multiply these numbers together, starting by multiplying the digits in the ones place. 3 times 2 is 6. Next, we'll multiply 3 times 1, which is 3. And lastly, 3 times 4, which is 12. The 2 goes into the hundreds place. The 1 is regrouped to the thousands place. Since there are no thousands, we can just bring that 1 down. So 412 times 3 is going to be 1,236. Now we're going to multiply 412 times 20, since the 2 is in the tens place. So before we even start multiplying, we need to put a 0 in the ones place, so our answer will start in the tens place. Now let's multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. Next, we're going to multiply 2 times 1, which is 2. And lastly, 2 times 4, which is 8. So we know that 412 times 20 is 8,240. Lastly, we're going to be multiplying 412 times 100, since the 1 is in the hundreds place. Before we even start multiplying, let's put a 0 in the ones and the tens place. Now we're going to multiply 1 times 2, since the 2 is in the ones place, which is 2. Notice the 2 is placed in the hundreds place, since the 1 is in the hundreds place. Now we're going to multiply 1 times 1, which is 1. And lastly, multiplying 1 times 4, which is 4. So 412 times 100 is worth 41,200. Now let's add these products together. Let's start by adding the ones place. 6 plus 0 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 4 plus 0 is 7. In the hundreds place, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. In the thousands place, 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. So we'll place a 0 in the thousands, regroup the 1 to the 10,000s place. Now 1 plus 4 is 5. So when we multiply the numbers, we have 50,676. But let's not forget to write the place value. Ones times hundredths is hundredths. We can rewrite this number in standard form by placing these digits into a place value chart. The 6 is going to go in the hundredths place, since the 6 isn't the last digit in our number. The 7 is regrouped to the tenths place. The 6 is regrouped to the ones place. The 0 is regrouped to the tens place. And the 5 is regrouped to the hundreds place. We can put the decimal point in between the ones and the tenths place. So our final answer is 506 and 76 hundredths. Let's try one more problem. Here we have 2 and 5 hundredths times 146. Let's start by writing these numbers in unit form. We're going to write 205 hundredths, since the 5 is in the hundredths place. We're going to be multiplying by 146 ones, since the 6 is in the ones place. Let's start by multiplying the digits in the ones place. So we're going to start by multiplying 6 times 5, which is 30. So place a 0 in the ones, regroup the 3 to the tens place. Now let's multiply 6 times 0, which is 0, plus the 3 we regrouped, which is 3. Finally, we're going to multiply 6 times 2, which is 12. So we'll put a 2 down here in the hundreds and regroup the 1 to the thousands place. Since there are no thousands, that's like having 0 thousands. 6 times 0 is 0, plus the 1 we regrouped is 1. So our answer to 205 times 6 is 1,230. Now let's multiply 205 times 40, since the 4 is in the tens place. Remember, before we even start multiplying, let's put a 0 in the ones place, so our answer will start in the tens place. 4 times 5 is 20, so the 0 is in the tens place. The 2 is regrouped to the top of the next digit we're multiplying. Now we're going to multiply 4 times 0, which is 0, plus the 2 we regrouped is 2. Now we can multiply 4 times 2 since the 2 is in the hundreds place. 4 times 2 is 8. So the answer to 205 times 40 is 8,200. Lastly, we can multiply 205 times 100 since the 1 is in the hundreds place. First, let's place a 0 in the ones and the tens place, so our answer will start in the hundreds place. So we're going to be first multiplying 1 times 5, which is 5. Next, we can multiply by the digit in the tens place. 1 times 0 is 0. And lastly, we're going to multiply by the digit in the hundreds place. 1 times 2 is 2. So our answer to 205 times 100 is 20,500. Finally, we can add all of these products together. Let's start by adding the ones place. All these zeros added up are 0. 3 plus 0 plus 0 is 3. In the hundreds place, 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. In the thousands place, 1 plus 8 is 9. And in the 10,000s place, 0 plus 2 is 2. So we have 29,930, but let's not forget about the place value. Hundredths times ones is hundredths because whenever we multiply by ones, it's always the other factor. Let's rewrite this number in standard form. We're going to first place the 0 in the hundredths place since the 0 is the last digit. The 3 is going to go to the tenths. The 9 is regrouped to the ones. The other 9 is regrouped to the tens place. And the 2 is regrouped to the hundreds place. We're going to place a decimal point between the ones and the tenths place. So our final answer is 299 and 3/10.